Today, we are object mashing. Object mashing is by no means a universal term. I've sort of just come up with it myself to describe the process of taking two different objects in the Sims 4 game and combining them to make something completely new and different. I'm a huge fan of object mashing because it helps you get the most out of your game, and it means that you don't have to rely on custom content for unique, new, fresh looks. So today we're starting in the kitchen and we're going to work our way through the entire house and landscaping and everything in other videos, but today we're starting in the kitchen because there are so many objects that can be mashed in the kitchen to give you new looks and feel. New look and feels? Looks and feel? New look and feels? Whatever. As always, if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and consider sharing with friends as well. If you get any tips or tricks out of this video that really help you, then share it with the community. And otherwise, I'm not going to keep waffling on. We're going to jump straight into the game and start mashing some objects. So I've done a bit of a kitchen, dining room vibe. It's got a bit of an industrial, super modern vibe about it. So we're going to be replicating this, and I'm going to be showing you all of the object mashing that I did to get to this point. So the first thing that we're going to build is our cabinetry, which runs along the entire back wall here. What we're going to do is we're going to integrate our fridge first. So go back to our blank slate, get over to our kitchen stuff, get our fridge. I'm going with this bad boy here, which is from Cool Kitchen Stuff Pack, but you can pick anything. Chuck it in where you want it. And next you're going to want to do your cabinetry. So when you open any of the cabinetry swatches and you click on it and click the swatches, it will expand outwards and give you options for different heights of cabinets and different shapes. So what we want to do first is get the cabinet that's going to sit on top of the fridge. So we're going to need probably, I would say, a half tile or a full tile cabinet. We'll start with a full tile, and if it's too big, we'll replace it. So the thing with these cabinets is that they snap to the wall and you can move them all over the wall. But the annoying thing is that they don't always look the nicest from the front, but where they do look really nice is from the rear. So if you turn these cabinets around, you've got a nice solid piece of wood. You feel me? Cool, right? So what we want to do is get the rear of the cabinet against the wall. And the way to do that is to have your Move Objects cheat enabled first. You place your object in the direction you want it to face. So in our case, we want it to face toward the wall. And then what we do is we use our hand tool, grab the object, and hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, which gives you free movement with the object. And what you can do is slowly take it over to where you want it, get it into the position that you like, and click to secure. And the next thing we want to do is get the cabinetry that goes next to the fridge to make it look like it's been integrated into the cabinets. So again, we're going to expand our swatch panel here, and we're going to get a large double tile cabinet, doing the exact same process again, turning it around to face the back, holding our Alt key on the keyboard and dragging it in until it fits seamlessly with our other cabinet that we now have as a guide. Perfect. Just going to change that swatch. So now we have our integrated fridge. Pretty easy and pretty simple. You can sometimes put a fridge directly into a long cabinet like this, but it's tricky because your Sims can't get to it. So if you want it to be functional, you're going to need to put a cabinet on top and to the side, just like we've done here. The next thing we're going to do is create our section for our stove. So again, similar to turning around the top cabinets, you can also turn around the bottom cabinets. And I really like doing this because it just is I just think it's a cleaner overall look. So turning our cabinet around and popping it in against the wall and against the cabinetry there. We're going to put in 3, and then we're going to delete the middle one because that's where our stove goes. I'm using the stove that comes with Snowy Escape because it comes in all black, and I really like this, that the swatch goes completely black. I think that that's a really nice touch, and it's really nice for this modern kitchen look we're going for. Now, what we need to do is put in our exhaust fans, but I find exhaust fans in The Sims really ugly, and so this is where we can do another object mash, and we can combine overhead cabinets with our exhaust fans, or range hoods, I think you call them in the US, and hide them in the cabinetry. So you're going to grab your range hood and you're going to pop them in place where they need to go, Easy peasy. And then the next thing you're going to need to do is get that same cabinetry that you had before, but this time we're going to expand our swatches and get a half tile again. And when we get the half tile, we can turn it around exactly the same way we did the others and use it to cover these range hoods. Okay, so once I've got my top cabinets in, I like to again place the cabinet that's going to close off this section so that I can space things properly. So turning it around, holding our Alt key and closing off that section. So now we've got a few little odd gaps. This can all just be fixed with using that same exact Alt key movement again. What I like to do is center the top cabinet over the stove so that everything is centered off that point. Patience really is the name of the game here when you're doing any object mashing, because it really can be a little bit fiddly. But if you take your time, I promise you it's worth it. It always gets such nice results. And now I'm just going to straighten up my range hoods directly underneath the cabinets because they're a little bit messy. There we go, look at that, beautiful. And now the range hood looks like a feature more than it does an eyesore. So that's what I like to do there. I also, with kitchens, this isn't really a tip for object mashings, but what I like to do is have a splashback that's actually a window so you can get some more natural light in. So I'm just going to chuck one of those in now. You can choose any windows for these. I like to pick ones that are really like more of a statement. So you can pick one that's quite geometric, that juts out from the window, which is quite nice. So now we're going to finish off the side of the wall and we're going to do some integrated ovens. Integrated ovens. And so we're going to click and place 2 more full length panels, full height tile panels. And this is where we're going to put our ovens in the centerpiece here. These won't be functional, unfortunately, but because we've already got one stove that is functional in the center, it's not so much of an issue. This is more aesthetically pleasing than anything else. So you can choose whatever ones you like here. I like to go with ovens that have a really plain front on them. And in this case, this one that comes with Cool Kitchen or whatever it is, stuff pack, this one has the same look and feel as our fridge, which is important because I want to tie it in and make it look all cohesive, because that's what really makes your builds shine with integrated appliances. And what I can do is using the 9 key and the 0 key, I can raise and lower objects. So holding Control and pressing the number 9 key, I can raise up my oven. And what I like to do is I like to put one oven a little bit higher, get the same again in the same exact location and raise it up, but just a little bit lower this time. Like this. You know when you go to really fancy houses and they've got like a steam oven and then a normal oven? Well, that's the look we're going for here. Okay, cool. So the next thing that we're going to build out is this central island section here. And this is operating as a multitude of things in this specific build. It's an internal fireplace. It's got the sink over here on the other side. It's got a nice wraparound counter space, so heaps of preparation if your sim is a cooking sim. And it's also the anchor point for our dining table. So that's what we've got going on here. It's the exact same countertop that we're using at the back here where our stove is, but in this instance, we're going to pop it facing the right direction. And the reason that that's important is because we need to place a sink in it. And for the Sims to use the sink and have that functionality, it needs to be facing the correct direction. Now, the piece of marble that I'm going to use is an accent table. So if you go into accent tables and scroll a few rows, then you've got it here. It comes with Dine Out. If you don't have Dine Out and you have Get Famous, I believe it's Get Famous or maybe it's Get Together, and there's a plinth. I'll actually show you. Pristine pedestal that comes with Get Famous. It's kind of similar, and it's kind of an option if you don't have the one that we're using. It'll look a little bit different, but that's okay. You got to work with what you got. That's the whole point of object mashing. But in our case, we are using the one that comes with Dine Out, and we're using it in the black swatch. We're going to pop it against the back of our cabinets. 1, 2. And then we're going to place 3 rows of him. Then we're going to place it again at the back, but we're going to raise it up 3 points using the 9 key on our keyboard again. So placing it over the top of where it's already sitting at the back there, 9, 9, 9, and click. So we've got this weird sort of marble slabby situation happening. So I realized that that kind of stuffed up a bit because I didn't make this bench long enough. You want your bench, this section here, to reach a full tile's width extra than the marble section in the middle. So I've just rectified that now. And now we just need to add the sides on. to enclose this space and make it look a bit fancier. There you go, that's better. Afternoon sun is always the best to build to. Now we want to create a little fireplace that sits in the middle. And it's a fireplace, but it's not a fireplace. We're kind of cheating a little bit because it's actually just a coffee table. So you're going to go to coffee tables, and you do need to have city living if you do want to be able to do this, because it's this object here, the Obstructo coffee table. You're going to click it and you're going to place it into the center where you want it. You'll be able to see on the grid your green squares to tell you which way it's facing. But now we need to raise it up to the right height. So again, pressing Control on your keyboard and the 9 key to elevate. Perfect. Now you'll be able to change swatches for it as well. So I'm going with black so it sort of all looks nice and tied in. And now what we want to do is we want to put a couple of plants on the side here. So what I like to do is get plants, pop them in. We are going to scale this down one though, because it makes a bit more sense, and we are going to raise it up a few. And I'm going to do the same again with the same exact object. I'm going to scale it down and I'm going to bring it up so it fits nicely in the space. Bang. Now, what I was thinking when I was building this section originally was you need a place to have your utensils. And now because we've put this big beautiful window behind our stove, what we need to do is object mash again so that we have a section that you can hang all your utensils and show a bit more clutter, because everybody loves clutter in The Sims. So the object you're going to need is this one here. It's called the new metal pedestal, and it is a shelf that comes with get to work. So that's this bad boy here. Again, you're going to pop it where it needs to sit. You're going to hold Control, press up key, the 9 key, sorry, to raise it up. Once it's at the height that you like, click enter. Bang, straight into position. We're going to do the same again on the other side. Bang. Cool. Now, I did leave it like this before, and I thought that actually looked quite nice and you wouldn't need to add anything else to it, but for the sake of teaching you guys another couple of object mashes, what I've done on the original one over here is I've put these like black slats, if you will, for a bit of texture, and I'll show you how to do that because it is a little bit trickier. So the first thing you're going to need to do is build a basement. So it doesn't matter how big it is, just make a big basement. And you're going to go down to the basement. So now we need these things. There's 3 different sizes, lines in the wall, vertical lines, and you want the tallest one, which is the last one of the bunch. We're going to pick black, and at this point, just chuck it anywhere because you just need a visual cue of where it's sitting to be able to tell and alter it. So we're going to pop it in, go back up, and what do you know? I kind of got it bang on, pretty much. So we know it needs to sit a little bit across and forward to get to the right location. So now when we go down to the basement again, we can grab it, holding our Alt key, adjust it slightly, and it should hopefully be sitting pretty much exactly how we want it to. What we can do again is go back down to the basement, copy this again, so it's spaced equidistant apart, and there you go, a nice little feature, and put another piece in. Same again on this side. All right, and with that object mashing done, you've now got yourself a cool little kitchen island with a bit of a feature happening, an inbuilt fireplace, some inbuilt plants. It's all very groovy. We'll actually change those colors. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to do our dining table section, which I want built into our island. You know when you go to some really fancy houses and the island is just like extended into a dining table? That's the vibes we're going for here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get any dining table. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's just the length and the size that you want to pay attention to. So because I want 6 people to be able to fit here, I'm going to get a 6-person dining table. You can literally get any that you like. This will do. And I'm going to put 1 and 2. Next, you get your chairs. Now, you do want to pick chairs that will stay the way you want them to look, because these chairs won't be moving or changing. So in this case, I'm going to go with the chair that came with the most recent update. This one, beautiful by Hey Harry, an amazing custom content designer who has just collaborated with EA. So that's our tables done and chairs. You could leave it like this if you really liked these tables or maybe one of the other swatches it comes with. You could just leave it like that. It's fully functional. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're going to go one step further. What you can do is we can size down the dining table, but it will still remain functional. Click on your object, the table specifically, and use the backwards bracket on your keyboard to size down the object. We're going to size it down as small as it will go, which in this case is 3 presses of that button. Same with this one. Bang, bang, bang. And now what we're going to do is we're going to free move our table because our chairs snap to the table. And we're going to tuck them in nicely so that they look like they're sort of sitting where they need to be sitting. But now we need something for them to actually lean on in game so it's just not floating in midair and looks ridiculous. So that's what we're going to do next. You can pick whatever shelf you want for this, but I'm going to go with the standard, the Immaculate, because it comes in a really nice swatch. And what we're going to do is we're going to size it up 3, and you're going to place it over where you need it to sit. And again, using the elevation key, the number 9 key, we're going to raise it into position. You want to raise it to the point where it would normally sit as a dining table so that that works nicely when it's in game. So there you go, you've got your shelf at the right height. Again, you could leave it at this point, you could leave it like this and that all is still functional, but we've got these 2 little ridiculous tables that are hidden underneath. They kind of look like footrests, but we're going to hide those. So we're going to grab this pristine pedestal that I mentioned before. It comes with Get Famous, and we're going to size it, put it into position, size it down 1, click enter. I like doing this all the way back to the island itself, but personal preference. You can do it however you want to do it, but you'll notice that we've just hidden those tables. This one can get tucked in a little bit more, so it's just hidden. And using the recolor tool, I'm just going to change that to black. And now it looks like a built-in piece of custom furniture. Beautiful. One of my favorite object mashes to do. Now we've got this little section of bar here. This is just a bit of a bonus. It's not really anything crazy, but I'll just blitz through it. You're going to get your counters, turn them round. Then you're going to get these cabinets again, the big tall ones, turn them around. So in my case, I'm going to do 2. Lovely. All right, and then another really cool object that comes with Dine Out is this Nectar Shelf, which I really like. So I'm going to pop it into position over here. And to tie in these slats again that I've placed downstairs, I'm going to grab those and I'm going to place them in position over here. I will need to get smaller ones so that they're not too tall. So the one thing that's missing is door handles, and what we're going to need to do is jump into the debug menu in order to find something that looks similar to the door handles of the fridge and the oven. So with the cheats that you entered at the beginning, the show hidden objects and show live objects cheat, that's going to give you access to the debug menu. So all you need to do is write debug into your search bar, click any of them, heaps come up, click any of them that you like. And this is the debug menu where you have a whole variety of extra additional clutter items and other things as well, like everything from in the game. So what you want to do is you're going to scroll down and there is a hidden item in this debug menu, this one here. So it's just a big pole. That's all it is. It's just a big pole in the debug menu. And I'm going to size it down using our closed bracket. I'm going to put it into position where I need it using the Alt key and raising it with the 9 key. And it gives me a nice modern looking door handle. I'm just going to go ahead and add that on everything else. Cool, so the last thing to add is just this little utensils rack. I like it a lot. It looks like it connects to the wall or to the ceiling of the wall. So we're going to add that in now. Beautiful. Alrighty, so that's it. We've got our little sim in here doing her homework, showing you that, just loving her homework. So she's giving us an example of how that table works in action. You can't tell that it's not a dining table, but it looks great. And what I might do is what I will do is I'll pop this onto the gallery for you all so that you can just break it apart, see how I've made it, and even just chuck it into your own games without having to make anything or do anything yourselves at all, because that's always fun. As always, if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It's a little bit different this week than what I normally do. I do have plenty of speed builds coming back your way very soon, but I wanted to dip my toe into the pool of tutorials just so that I can get a feel for it before I do my big How to Be a Better Builder series that will be coming out in a few months' time. I'll see you next week. We will be returning to regular programming with a speed build, but keep your eyes peeled because there will be more tutorials coming as well. As always, guys, happy simming, and I will see you next Tuesday.